right, what is up, everybody? We are back with some LBR action. So, we got the Brazilian Legends of Runeterra League that has started back up again. We just had week 1, days 1 and 2. And what we're going to start doing, I guess, is having kind of like a feature match on a week-to-week basis. So, today's feature match is going to be Trivo versus DaigurenRise. So both players, obviously, we've seen a ton of them in tournaments up until now. So Trivo, as we all know, is from Team Sultans, who actually lost in the finals last season of the LBR. And DaigurenRise from Team Mafia, who actually took home a win in the championship for the LRA, the South American Legends of Runeterra League, which we had the pleasure of casting last time around as well. So pretty excited for that. And to see these two go head-to-head, they're both amazing teams, amazing players. Should be some exciting stuff. Also, if you guys are looking for a tournament to get involved with this weekend, we have the OLS number 18 now. Starting to lose track there. Link will be in the description below to the tournament signups as well as the Discord. And we now have a $100 prize pool for the OLS. For the time being, I don't see that changing, so it should be pretty fun. Just a little bit more competitive, get some more competitive players in there for the tournament as well. We had well over 100 people a couple of the times we've had the OLS recently, and that was only with a $20 prize pool. So a little bit more at stake now. Very excited to see everybody there. Myself and Boulevard will be casting this weekend, as always. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the feature match of week 1 of the LBR. This was on day 2. It was actually the last match of the day. Trivo of Team Sultans versus DaigurenRise from Team Mafia.
Team Mafia running the league. Team Sultans ran the league last season of the LBR. I am so excited to get into this last game today.
Let's go. Me as well, Boulevard. So he was able to take it away. And we both, like I said, we both know these players. So there's bragging rights on the line too, right? And I like what you mentioned about Aftershock. That is a good consideration. I think I sometimes forget that it kills landmarks. And, with so much Grand Plaza floating around, which Trivo is playing in this Zoe Aurelian Soul deck, that might be pretty useful here in the early game.
And I think that's even going to extend a lot more into next week, with the Pack Your Bags nerf. I think that is one of the things that was keeping Grand Plaza held back a little bit. We saw it go hog wild, week 1, and then kind of settle back into, okay, Targon's really the one that we want to be playing, and sometimes Scouts.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Thanks for reminding me. I wanted to bring that up earlier. Where in the hell is Scouts?
It's not an LBR deck.
Wow, that's your answer? That's your answer? It's just that it's not in the LBR? Jeez. I was expecting something way more constructed and thought out.
Sometimes the answer is just regional meta.
I mean, yeah, you might be right. It's similar to how deep, we've seen a lot of deep in the past out of LBR. It's just bad now, so they can't play it.
I actually really like this Equinox here.
Yeah, this is a very good Equinox.
And this is what you hate about Zoe decks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Static Shock feels amazing, though. Static Shock, I mean, another card that's coming back probably a lot because of Zoe. And obviously, Sejuani, Teemo, but Static Shock in general just gets a lot of work done versus a lot of different decks right now. So probably one of the best value trades you're going to get in this matchup with that Static Shock onto that Zoe.
Yeah, it's really hard to say that Go Hard and its 1 damage pings are keeping a lot of cards in check and then not run Static Shock.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and there's the Equinox. So that Eye of the Dragon is useless now, and that's a big deal.
That's the win condition that we saw in the previous game that we saw out of Karma was just multiple Eye of the Dragons rushing down a Lee Sin deck.
Yeah, it's going to feel really bad, especially, we do have the Chump Up. Okay, so this does allow us to start to dig a little bit, hopefully for something like another Eye of the Dragon. I imagine Daiguren is probably going to want to dig for that a little bit. And I'm curious to see how Trivo is going to play this. It looks like Trivo is trying to go the aggressive route here, but nothing really to play after this until turn 7 with the Eclipse Dragon there. Just going to be hanging around for a little while. We do have
And
Crescent Strike, Scourge, and Falling Comet to pick from on the side of Trivo.
I feel like Falling Comet's going to be the take. Scourge is a ways away off being played because I think you are going to want to go, turn 7, Daybreak that Eclipse Dragon, turn 8, get down that Aurelion Soul. And yeah, the Falling Comet just going to be a great way to get a deny out of your opponent, kind of check them and make sure that they're not tapping out on the same turn that they're playing their Karma. And, this SJW is actually something that we haven't seen in quite some time. This is just good old-fashioned Legends of Runeterra. Just everything sitting at 3 HP and 3 damage removal spells. I feel like it's been so long since 3 damage removal spells have been the meta where we talk about really hitting this super important 4 HP breakpoint. But right now, there's a very good chance that this turn is just Aftershock the Mountain Scryer.
Yeah, are you referring back to the good old days of the Black Spear meta where everybody did 3 damage to everything?
Not even Black Spear. I think last time that Karma Ezreal was really meta, was sort of the last time that we talked about, and TF Swain, was sort of at its height, was the last time that we really talked about, everything is 3 HP. If you get to 4, then all of a sudden you're unremovable. And the meta was just throwing out these 3 HP units and dying to 3 damage removal spells.
Yeah, and there you go. You're right. Looks like we are going to get the Aftershock onto the Mountain Scryer. So, not going to go face, not going to be used on something like a Grand Plaza. And we do still have this Rummage, but it looks like we're just going to wait until it's kind of the absolute needed play there. We have another Rummage off the top as well. And that is going to prompt the first one to get played. There is a Karma. I think in this particular matchup, the leveled up Karma might come in big depending on what spells we're able to pair with it.
It's actually going to be really big. I know that you had mentioned earlier that doubling up on a Will of Ionia doesn't do anything for the Karma, but if your opponent plays an Aurelion Soul, that first one, pops the Spell Shield. Yeah,
one of the few instances where doubling up on something like that usually doesn't get a bonus from doubling up is pretty good. So we'll see if that's something that we'll be working with a little bit later here. More Static Shocks as well, just to get the double draw and things like that.
I wonder if it was incorrect to discard the gem. Because actually no, it doesn't matter. You don't have the attack token this turn. I'm looking at this Serpent, this gem, and this Karma, but it doesn't line up that way because you don't have the attack token here.
Okay, I was like, wait a second, what? Okay, yeah. It's like, I feel like it's almost always right to discard a gem.
That Serpent would get blasted to Kingdom Come when it tried to kill the Karma next turn, so.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, but we hold back the Charger.
Ooh, we even get another Static Shock too, so. And Karma down early means we're going to be able to generate a lot of value with the free spells from her too. Should be interesting as we start to get towards the late game here. I'm actually very interested because we don't get to see a lot of this Karma Ezreal deck. I'm very interested to see how the Karma Ezreal deals with this Zoe Aurelion Soul late game. Because, Zoe Aurelion Soul, they excel in the late game too, right? I mean, you have the Aurelion Soul, you have those giant behemoth of the elusive units that you have to deal with. I'm curious to see how Karma Ezreal deals with them.
The answer traditionally is not particularly well. Will of Ionia is going to be able to get a little bit done in that regard, but I actually want to check how many copies we are running. We are on... Yeah, we're only running 1 Will of Ionia. Did I see that right? Oh, okay. Yeah, only 1 Will of Ionia. I thought there was only 2 Deep Meditation, but yeah, there's 3 of that. That makes a lot more sense.
All right, we're going to burst past here, but also just play mana efficiently and clear the hand out a little bit. And this should just be... This should just be 4 damage. We could Mystic Shot it to save it, yeah. And that is going to be an additional target for Ezreal as well, which means it is now leveled up.
Oh, boy.
And we have Ballistic Bot online, too. If, there's a world where maybe we can kind of get this Ballistic Bot Karma engine online and just machine gun these puppies out of there with something like an Ezreal later on in the game. Maybe that's an option for DaigurenRise, but the Grand Plaza finally comes off the top for Trivo, and that's going to be big to try to deal with this Karma.
Okay, that I'm looking at this Sumpwork map that was randomly generated, not really processing at first that it was randomly generated and being like, what is that doing in here?
Yeah, that'll do that to you.
So I do want to touch on the fact that Trivo actually elected not to attack with this Eclipse Dragon last turn. And I think it's actually to set up for the Sky's Descent.
Yeah, so he doesn't get chumped down with the chump bomb.
Yeah, just like chumped down and then removed in some way.
I mean, are you ever gonna play the Sky's Descent before you get a deny out of your opponent? Like,
I mean, you could. I mean, either the Falling Comet or the Sky's Descent. One of them is going to eat the deny, and then the other one is, probably going to resolve. And I think it's, not out of the question that you test the waters with the Sky's Descent, just because it is a little bit more situational. But now that a removal piece has been thrown out there, I think it is. I think you are going to be fine to actually just throw out this Falling Comet, or potentially go for a potential lethal on the following turn. But yeah, Trivo actually, just getting his board obliterated, and Daiguren playing apparently very respectfully of the possibility of the Sky's Descent, or just even mana efficiently on the turn.
Yeah, not for nothing, but it seems like the games that we've seen, people are very aware of the Sky's Descent, and mitigating the usefulness of it by getting rid of the Celestials and Dragons on the field.
Okay, so actually the Sky's Descent is back online, and we have 2 copies.
Oh god, we get it. Yep, the 0 mana charger there. Oh boy.
Okay, Trivo. Maybe that's what we're doing.
Nope. All right, it's gonna be the Grand Plaza. Man, you and Judgment and the Sky's Descent, man, you are all over those. You're just like big board wipes, huh?
Yeah, I like one-sided. I like doing things that aren't fair, and one-sided board wipes are pretty pinnacle not fair.
So you're okay with Go Hard being at 1 mana?
Yeah. Go Hard at 1 mana, yeah, I'm fine with. Ask me about Pack Your Bags, I have a different story to tell.
All right, so here's the ignition train getting rolling. What am I? And I'm curious to see if this is going to be impactful or not. I mean, we do have board wipes on the side of Trivo, like you mentioned. We have 1 deny to deal with those. This Nopify is going to be pretty useless for a little while. It's interesting to me that Trivo is actually not even worried about going after this leveled Karma, it seems like. I mean, maybe we go after it now with this Falling Comet this turn to see if we get a deny out, but... Yeah, I don't think... I don't even think he's going to play the Falling Comet this turn. We're just going to try to challenge this Karma.
I think that Trivo very well could even end up passing here, because if Daiguren doesn't do anything, Trivo levels Aurelion Soul.
Oh, and I think that's why we're getting the Rummage here, so we can burst pass back on over to Trivo.
Yeah, we are currently sitting at exactly 25.
Yeah, and that's why we're playing this Mystic Shot pre-combat. Makes sense.
And the Pale Cascade gets to come out here. That saves it. Still keeps us in range for the Falling Comet.
Yeah, this is interesting how this is playing out too, because if we do save it, I mean, technically Daiguren has something like the Concussive Palm to still save this this Karma, depending on what's played here. Man, that feels so rough for Daiguren to have this Mystic Shot negated on this Charger.
If Daiguren goes for the Concussive Palm, then we are actually out of deny mana, and we could get the Falling Comet. I think that, depending on the reads that Trivo has, I actually don't think there's really anything that Daiguren's going to be able to do. Now it does have the second deny, but yeah, I think that Trivo, it's really possible that he either passes or, maybe tries to single combat this Aurelion Soul at the Karma. But with Living Legends in hand, it's really hard not to want to just take the pass, open the turn with Sky's Descent. Oh, you denied it? Let me Living Legends and Sky's Descent again.
I mean, that sounds like a play that Trivo would make, I'm not going to lie.
Not only that, but the Comet is going to go down to 0 mana. I don't think this Karma could possibly live through that, and I'm really liking the sound of all of this.
I kind of like that line, Boulevard, I'm not going to lie. So we'll see if Trivo decides to go that route. I think no matter what happens, Daiguren is losing Karma. I think we can establish that much. There's just not enough tools in Daiguren's hand to save it. The only way we don't save it is if somehow Trivo taps below this mana without like single combating this Karma or something. And I don't see, there's never a world where that happens, I don't think so.
Yeah, there's no way to get below the mana outside of randomly hushing and pale cascading. Okay.
Yep.
This is actually fine for Trivo as well, because the only thing that Daiguren could do, and now Daiguren has a choice to make. Do I concussive palm and let the Aurelion Soul level, or do I lose my karma? And I think that the answer, it's risky too, because Daiguren still has karma mana and a karma in hand, but Trivo has the answer.
It feels so bad. And see, so this is what I had mentioned when we were kind of talking about Karma Ezreal earlier today when we first saw it. It just seems so hard to get a karma to stick that's leveled up nowadays. Like, there's just so many ways to deal with it with so many different decks and regions. It just, you don't get rewarded for playing karma.
If Trivo really wants to, Trivo can level Aurelion Soul this turn with single combat Pale Cascade.
Yep. Yeah, because Pale Cascade does last till the end of the turn, and that is when Aurelion Soul's level up happens. And
it does seem a lot safer to not go for it. Just understanding that Daiguren does still have, karma mana available. Let me not, go full on, let's play for the Aurelion Soul win con, because it'll be really funny. And I don't think he's going to have too much problem leveling it this turn, because I don't think Daiguren's going to be able to maintain a karma.
Feels so bad. We have karma, Ezreal, and deny mana.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not enough.
There's so much removal on the side of Trivo.
Yeah, it's not enough. Like, if we could have had that original karma stick, I think we would have been A-okay. I think because now we have 2 denies in hand, and we could have just played the Ezreal, and we would have been pretty safe.
And I think Trivo's probably going to play a unit here just to trigger a potential Aurelion Soul level. And then we still have, more than enough mana to try and remove a karma that comes down, because we have the Falling Comet as well as the Meteor Shower.
Man, Daiguren just never able to really get things going. There's just so many responses on the side of Trivo with these Celestial cards. So I think at this point, when you see that unit, because you don't really have technically you have the Thermo Beam. You could Thermo Beam something to get rid of, like, the Aurelion Soul level up, but that never feels like a good option. So because the Aurelion Soul is going to level up, I'm pretty sure Daiguren just says, all right, I'm going to go for the win, and we're just going to end up playing Karma. And it looks like we're going to test the waters first, maybe, with this Ignition, kind of see what's played in response, bait something onto the Ezreal. And I think at this point you do want to value the Karma a little bit more than the Ezreal right now. Possibly, because it will keep you in the game, because you're definitely not winning the game with this Ezreal anytime soon.
Yeah, and I think this is the part where Trivo's understanding these mana breakpoints. Trivo played in the Karma Ezreal meta. He knows how to calculate these things out, and understands that with this Ignition being played, there's not enough mana for Karma and Karma Protection. And I still have mana for both Falling Comet and Meteor Shower if you want to get something down, because you have yet to deal with my Mountain Scryer.
Yeah, which means I wonder if we get to the point where Daiguren actually just doesn't play this Karma.
It's so dicey, because I think your options for this turn are either Thermo Beam the 8/4 or play Karma.
This feels terrible. This
certainly
feels
not ideal.
Garbage. This like just seeing that 4 and then seeing the 9 and then seeing the 4 and then seeing the 9.
Trivo still has the Living Legends, so actually should be able to still level the Aurelion Soul by getting some big powerful unit off of this. Unless he does just want to pass, but I think it's a pretty safe bet to make. Your Aurelion Soul is currently sitting at 19 out of 25, so as long as you can find 1 6 or higher attack unit, which actually is a little bit of a tall task for Celestials, I think that the only way that you're getting that is with a 7 or higher.
Yeah, and you have a pretty full hand, so you're not going to get too many shots at getting that. So
actually, Warrior would do it as well, because you have Grand Plaza.
Does Grand Plaza interact the same way as Pale Cascade would?
Yeah, plus, you also just have the Pale Cascade, but no, we're not going for the Aurelion Soul level. We're just going to go for an open attack. And
no spice.
I don't think... I haven't seen the draw for turn just yet, but, from my perspective, we don't have anything to stop the A-Soul. But actually, no, we top deck a Will of Ionia.
And the Concussive Palm. So, unfortunately, we were talking about this earlier. The idea was that you have a Karma on board when these things go off, and we don't currently have a Karma on board. So, it's going to feel really bad that we had to go ahead and play both of those to take care of the Aurelion Soul. We just see all 3 Aurelion Souls in hand. Karma will likely be able to come down and now have plenty of protection, but now what do you have to show for it? You have a health potion and a Sumpworks map.
Not only that, but because you do have to float the deny mana, and you are still going to be worried about multiple removal spells for the Karma, Trivo can just start off the turn with a Hush onto the Karma. And then you're not doubling up any spells on Trivo's attack turn, which is really what you need to be doing in order to deal with this Aurelion Soul. We do have the Karma Ezreal combo again, but not enough.
Like, this just feels so bad seeing Karma and Ezreal in hand so often, and literally this deck just still cannot win. It's been an uphill battle this whole game. We actually don't even have enough mana for both denies as well. We're one short of that. So, or no, more than that. Jesus, you can't even play 2 denies in a Karma in the
nope.
same turn. It's 14.
And Trivo has mana for both Supernova and Falling Comet, thanks to that Mountain Scryer that has just been here since turn 5.
Well, here's the Ezreal, the last-ditch effort. We'll see if this is going to get anything done.
I would imagine that Trivo just either develops a unit here or passes. I don't think you're throwing one of your removal spells at this.
Yep. You got the Serpent. Seems okay.
Yep.
And
just saying, I have Hush, you have double deny mana. I'm not really playing that game. Let me level the Aurelion Soul and see how you handle that.
And there's nothing, I mean, we see there's nothing that Daiguren can do. Even if we do go in for an attack with this Ezreal, which at this point we kind of have to, right?
Yep.
It's just going to get hushed. And by this point in the game, your opponent has Hush. See, listen, I know Daiguren's going to lose anyways, but, like, I don't like that not attack there. Like, you don't win the game by not attacking, right? You just keep your Ezreal for one turn, and it continues to do nothing. Like,
and I don't think you can even do anything here. You have 2 blockers. Your opponent has a Challenger and an Overwhelm unit, and a 0-mana Supernova.
Sure, deny my 0-mana Supernova.
And we don't even deny it. I want to see the Skies Descend Living Legends run back Skies Descend.
Do it, Trivo.
But I'm pretty sure Trivo just attacks here.
Make us happy. No,
Trivo's just going to attack. Oh, Falling Comet. That's not Skies Descend.
Well, yep. That's the Shen emote on both sides. And Daiguren going to get taken down there by Trivo in Game 1 of Mafia versus Sultans.
It was
wow,
crazy.
I just like completely
zoned
out. No, I just zoned out. I was staring at something.
Oh.
Yeah, Mafia versus Sultans. So Trivo going to go up 1-0. Sorry, what were we going to say?
It's crazy to think. Take yourself back to shit just works in mid-June, July, right?
Okay.
Karma Ezreal, it's everywhere, running the meta. Try to imagine, you're like, I know for a fact that 6-7 months from now, this deck is going to be like tier 5 unplayable doo-doo. Did you ever think of like all the different changes that would have had to happen to get it there and what the meta would look like?
Oh man. It's
so weird to like see this deck that we casted so many times that was such a dominating force on the meta, and then we see it and we are surprised. We expect it to lose.
I honestly, no. I back then, I guess you can call it naivety, but like, wow, like no way. Like back then it was, dude, this deck is redonkulous. Everybody wants it nerfed. This deck is broken. Ezreal's broken. Karma needs to get changed. There was like all these cards that people were complaining about in the deck that need to get changed.
I think they all got changed.
They all got changed. Well, oh yeah, wait, did Karma get changed? No.
Yeah, she went from 5 to 6.
Oh, that's right. Karma increased in cost. See now I think Karma could actually be decreased in cost and probably be fine.
With Zoe Karma running around.
Oh Jesus, yeah, right. It's funny. It's very easy to like in a vacuum say something like that, but there are really a ton of chain reactions when even just one card change gets made.
You know what I love about being a caster and not a developer? I don't have to worry about the fact that actions have consequences. I only have words.
Yeah. Well, technically, words have consequences sometimes too.
I don't think the devs listen to anything I say.
Good point. That's a fair point. Oh man, you never know. Maybe they watch one of these casts and they're like, ha, joke's on them. We're taking their idea and we're gonna use it.
Oh, you sure showed me, man.
Yeah, right. All right, so we get to see Karma again versus another Targon deck.
We're playing a little weird. I understand that. I think we're setting up for this thermogenic beam onto the Mountain Scryer, but I don't think we needed to Mystic Shot the Lunari Duskbringer.
Sorry, mine froze. Gonna go ahead and restart the game real quick.
I noticed that your store lights up every time. Is it because you've never been there? Have you not spent the hard-earned dollar on Legends of Runeterra?
No, I have. What do you mean it lights up?
It glows like when you like your rewards are done, and then like it lights up the reward thing to let you know that you have a reward in there. Have you not checked out the new shop stuff ever since it came out?
Oh no, is it in the bottom right?
Yeah, it's in the bottom left. It's right below rewards, actually.
Oh really? What? Maybe they released something. I just haven't checked it yet. That might be why.
How dare you not get in there and window shop the finest Runeterra accessories?
Oh man, yeah. No, I've spent a few dollars on this game. It's well deserved or well spent. All right, so we do have the karma early on here. We even have the protection if we are able to get her down. But, I mean, listen, we're playing essentially what I can attest to being just the same matchup. It's not exactly the same. It's a big difference, but it's still Targon. Close. And it's pretty close because of all the Targon cards. All these invocations that we're going to get with these Celestial cards are going to make it really hard for karma to stick around like we saw last game. So, I don't know. I don't see a world where Daiguren is going to have an easy time winning this game again. We do have both Eye of the Dragons, not a silenced one this time, so maybe that will come into play here.
I know there's been an amount of talk about, which format is the best for tournaments right now. We've moved so far away from Region Lock. I can't imagine the last time I actually saw a Region Lock tournament. That's another thing. Relic from 7 months ago was Region Lock. Who even plays that anymore?
What's that?
But a lot of players talk about the Riot format having a problem where people can just run essentially the same decks back to back, and a lot of people don't like that. And then you have people like Trivo that are like, I get to run multiple Mountain Scryer decks. This is the best thing ever.
Yeah. When Trivo likes something, he likes something. Like deep. All right, I'm gonna play as many deep decks as I possibly can. And then we get Celestials. We're gonna play Celestials everywhere.
Trivo just likes the new stuff, man. He's like, Bilgewater, that's a cool region. Deep, yeah, I can get behind that. Yep. Ooh, Targon, that's new. Let me play that to death. I'm terrified to see what Trivo looks like, a month and a half from now when Shurima's out.
All right, so Trivo, honestly, I mean, seeming like he's in control right now. We even have more cards than the Ezreal Karma deck, which it's a little bit surprising. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it should be able to keep up a little bit better than that, this Karma deck. But
I think the problem is that you're not your units don't really get value on play, like Trivos do. I mean, Golden Sister inherently creates a +1 on the unit. We already got 2 Mountain Scryers; those replace themselves. This Ravune replaces itself, and that's one of the reasons that Karma Ezreal kind of got buried as a relic of the past. There's just so many other mid-range to control decks that are about as fast as you and sort of match you in the late game in a lot of these regards, especially something like Invoke, that just have so many self-replacing cards that you do not. You are really relying on a large Karma rummage in order to keep cards or bury your opponent in advantage. I mean, in the one game that we actually saw this deck pick up a win, it was off the back of double Eye of the Dragon against a deck that really doesn't play units. And unless you can find another very specific matchup like that, and maybe it is just a bad Invoke matchup. I mean, we even see a Deny discarded there. It's just a card that's not useful against what Trivo has brought here. Atrocity is pretty much going to be the only target.
And we are going to get 2 Dragon Links for this turn, so this will prevent some of the damage from coming through on the side of Trivo. These 2 Nopify, not really going to get anything done in this matchup, unless we see a single combat come down.
Yeah, I mean...
Or sorry, wow, I was thinking Demacia, so actually...
It is basically the same deck, I don't blame you. But what I was going to say is, the Deny discard, yes, Atrocity is a great target. Leona's Morning Light is something you would normally have to consider. It's not so much a consideration when you're running out Dragonlings this consistently, but Daiguren doesn't maintain cards like, say, Lee Sin does. Eventually, you do stop outputting Dragonlings.
So what 2 costs, because I don't have the deck list up right now, what 3 or less cost Shadow Isles are we running? Or Targon, for that matter. That's not burst speed.
Nothing.
Yeah, okay. I kind of had an inkling of a feeling. So, yeah.
We don't even have, I mean, I guess anything that comes off of Spacey Sketcher.
Yeah, so In other words, those are two dead dead cards in hand. So
I would not be the most. And
Rummage.
this is the situation that Karma Ezreal ran into a lot, where it's turn 8, you have 2 dead cards in hand. Trivo is going to have the attack token now, and he's going to have it again on turn 10. If you can survive the onslaught on turn 10, you can play your Karma, and no matter what happens to her in the meantime, outside of getting hushed, you're going to have that big Rummage.
Well, she's coming down now, and there's no way it looks like for Trivo to deal with the Karma, which means it will go into turn 10 leveled up, and you'll get the double Rummage like you mentioned, getting rid of those Nopifies. So
that's so incredibly ballsy on the side of
Yeah.
DaigurenRise, because Trivo, if Trivo was offered a meteor shower, he might have taken it.
yeah, or a Comet for that matter. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that Trivo could have dealt with this Karma with still 8 mana up.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that meteor shower or comet would have been a fine target just to deal with this Eye of the Dragon, which is the one thing that's sort of stalwarting his aggression right now. So Daiguren just saying, you know what, if you took some piece of removal, you just have the game, man. I need to get this Karma online.
And I like it. I mean, especially after last game, seeing what Targon's able to do to something like this deck, I think you do need to just take that risk and throw the Karma down. So I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, so we written in stars into Pale Cascade. I mean, that's what you get when you have both your champions in play.
All right, so how do we line up the blocks here? Imagine you put a Dragonling onto the Ravoon, and I guess we're letting everything else through. I guess that makes sense. No reason to put any damage onto your Eye of the Dragons, blocking something like the Priestess. Want to keep those bad boys healthy, or bad girls, I should say. Is that a boy or a girl? That's a girl,
I
right?
never really got too into the specifics of it.
Is it?
I believe it's a girl. They have eyeliner on. That's really all I'm going off of.
Draws the sun across our skies and reveals the world around us. I don't know. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
I mean, eyeliner could go both ways. So.
Yeah.
All right. I'm curious to see once this Karma goes online, what we're going to be able to do with it. Because honestly, listen, we saw last game, Karma and Ezreal, both in hand, both leveled up, did squat. Nothing.
Yeah.
Now it looks like we're in a spot. It looks like we're in a spot where the Karma will be able to go ahead and stick. So now what do we do with it? Well, right now nothing because of the Nopifies, but the Rummage is definitely going to get some work done. That's always been one of like the best things about Karma, right? Using that Rummage for the 4 cards. Feels really good.
Now it's just a question of, is she going to live that long? And what random spell is going to pop out?
It's gonna depend on this next draw. Well, actually, technically, we could even... we're probably not going to Star Shape, and we're still at 20. Spacey Sketcher could give us something, but probably not going to be able to deal with it until the next attack turn. So, yeah, I think this Karma is safe to level going into the next turn. I think we're fine. Leona coming down... I mean, or well, not coming down. I should say leveling up. I mean, there was never really going to be an attack from Daiguren anyways. I guess the problem is we want to make sure that we are getting the 2 Dragonlings. You can't really Mystic Shot the Leona because then you just play into Pale Cascade. This Tri-Beam, I imagine, has to be at 3 then, right? Okay, that's a 1. That's a big old 1. Wow.
I mean, it's not a main deck card. You did not build your deck around this.
Yeah, but like, man. So I guess we're just gonna be playing the Tri-Beam, and we're gonna be playing the Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot, I imagine, just gonna go on to the Golden Sister in that case to play around that Pale Cascade. And yeah, this Tri-Beam is literally just to go ahead and get the target and get something down.
Yeah, I think that's just for a blocker here. We still have to play one more spell to get Dragonlings next turn.
Well, yeah, and that's,
I mean,
that's what I'm
it would
thinking
have
of
to be the
Mystic
Mystic Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Karma should level hunky-dory, no problemo.
All right, here we go. We made it, boys. We made it to the leveled Karma. Now, does it do anything? That's going to be the problem now. Oh, wow. It's actually amazed me how often people seem to not really be playing around Pale Cascade. We might not even get it here, the Pale Cascade, to save the Ravoon, but...
Yeah, I think one thing to consider is that is a 4/4 Diana right now. You know, do you want to use that as a Pale Cascade?
Oh, that's a Diana. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was gotten by Written in Stars.
Yes, it's also buffed. So I gotta agree with you there. I don't know. I feel like most people have not really respected the Pale Cascade play around with targets like Mystic Shot, Static Shock, stuff like that. So you can't really with Static Shock, obviously. But
All right, here we go, DaigurenRise. Show us something special with this karma. Let's start off with a nice little rummage.
so all right, counterfeit copies. We got as a spell. How does this win us the game? Tell me how this wins us the game, Boulevard?
I mean, counterfeit copies doesn't do it. That might actually just get rummaged instead of one of the notebook files.
Do we?
Actually, hold on. What if we counterfeit copies the rummage?
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of draw.
That is a lot of draw.
I'm just saying.
Got 13 mana to play with.
And then you do that before the rummage. Now you're looking at probably drawing another rummage.
Okay. DaigurenRise is going to speedrun a deck out of himself. 23 in deck right now.
He's either going to die from his opponent or die because he decks himself out. This is what we're going to go with. All right, and Trivo does have the attack token, so we very much need to do something here. This is going to stun the Karma. I really hope he counterfeit copies it. Oh, he's not doing it.
Okay. I mean, it would have been kind of cheeky, but honestly, I don't know if it would have been the worst.
I honestly think it was the right play. Because then you're never going to run out of cards for the rest of the game. Especially if you get another card.
Maybe because you have the deep med in hand, so I guess you're like, I'm already not running out of cards.
Okay, I guess. I mean, that's kind of the point of this deck in the first place, right? Is you get Karma and Ezreal down, and you just have like infinite card advantage too with the Karma. So it's a good point.
Yeah, Daiguren might actually be able to come back into this one. No Aurelian Soul means no, large looming threats that Daiguren has to go for. No Zoe means I didn't get Equinoxes, and I guess just the wrong side of the champion spectrum here for Trivo does mean that he could be falling to this Karma Ezreal in game number 2.
Yeah, now we have, we have the burst OTK in hand. Now, and isn't it crazy to think that all these burst spells in hand would have represented 8 damage before? That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like just to think that would have ever been a thing and they do that much damage just blows my mind. But now it actually seems like it's difficult to actually put together this win condition where it's super easy. So here we go. We're doing a little bit, and we're gonna have full mana next turn to deal with this too, and try to go for lethal. So I think Trivo actually has to try to go for lethal on this attack, and I don't know. We have a challenger Diana if we wanted to summon her. I don't know if that makes a difference though.
It would just die to. Actually, hold on. I'm looking at Daiguren's hand. I'm seeing Mystic Shot double get excited.
Yeah.
And even without Ezreal, that might have been lethal. Because right now, if you actually just throw out the double get excited this turn, that's
12 damage. Wait, 12, 13, 14.
16 damage?
14. 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, 16 because you're doubling up the spells. So, wow,
Yeah.
you're 2 off of lethal with 2 spells. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that on the next turn, that's just going to be enough. I think that DaigurenRise SJW has actually finally established this combo, no removal out of Trivo for the entirety of the game, and that's just going to do it.
Well, remember, it's not that he finally established the combo. We've established the combo multiple times. It's just that it's actually worked this time. Well, no, he's had Karma Ezreal multiple times.
Yeah, but he didn't establish it. He didn't get it on board.
Yeah, and he also didn't have the cards in hand the other times as well. So
yeah.
And
that means we're getting game 3.
Yeah, because the last time we saw this deck win as well, it was not even with Karma Ezreal. It was going wide with Dragonlings and Eye of the Dragons. Yeah, here we go. This attack isn't going to do a whole lot. We can, block the Leona. We can also Mystic Shot the Elusive if we want, the Silver Sister.
Yeah, we could also just take it. It's a little scary because there is still, Atrocity in our opponent's deck, but we have Health Potion.
Yeah. I think we're fine. I mean, I think because there's Atrocity, I think you do need to kind of calculate. I think that's why Daiguren's pulling this back. I think you do need to calculate, okay, what allows me to live with this Health Potion through Atrocity? I think if you take this 11 damage, that leaves you at 3, plus 6 for the Health Potion is 9. That puts you, you're outside of that 7. of the Eclipse Dragon with Atrocity. So I think you're good.
You have the deny too.
Yeah, and you have the deny, so.
Just take it. Take it. Yeah.
All right, and this means we're going into the next turn with Karma Ezreal on board. Plenty of spells in hand to finish it off.
We're not even 2 weeks into 2021. We already got Karma Ezreal back on the map.
Man, all right, listen, if this sticks, do we think this is actually going to be a thing, though? I don't know. Is this just a fad? Is Daiguren just...
Do I think it's going to be a thing? No. Do I think this is the last time I'm going to see DaigurenRise play this deck? Also no.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep, there's the health potion too. So Trivo going to fall down to 6, and that does mean that, you know, nothing really to stop Daiguren on the following turn. I'm trying to figure out if even a Hush is going to be enough to get it done, or actually...
No, it's fine now because we have burst speed. I think Daiguren, the reason he went for this is just to ensure that he has burst speed victory at the start of turn.
Yeah, because Moonlight Affliction is something that you would have to think about, because that would automatically stun, or not stun rather, but silence both of your units, and that could be a bit of a problem. But no, Deep Meditation for lethal. Been a while since we said that one, huh?
Yeah, you got that right. And all right, Daiguren gonna take it back there, bringing it to a game 3 versus Trivo. And that means it's tied up 1-1, so I'll update the score for you guys. I just want to, real quick, while we're waiting for them to hop into game 3. I know this is so stupid, but I'm so, like, entertained by this. I'm just going to bring it back to us for a second. This is a Yeti Rambler. I don't know if you probably heard of these before. It's just, you know, you put your water in it, right? And this is, what a genius invention this is. The cap magnetizes to the side of the bottle, so you never lose it.
Oh.
I fucking love that.
This is
amazing.
a monster can. It's ultra red. I only had 3 of these left, and I have like 40 black cherry at this point, and I was like, well, I need to finish these off, so I'm drinking it. It's not that good. When I buy them singly, they are better than when I get them in the 24-pack. I guess it's just been a while since I had the red one. I don't really like it, but the can's aluminum. It's got like metal band CD writing on it. It's kind of hard to read sometimes, and there's like a little poem.
There's a poem on it?
Yeah, who can forget the hot summer days and hotter summer nights there? Oh man, it's so hard to read. Thick with the promise of unlimited possibilities. Working a mindless job to earn just enough for that last epic adventure before starting real life.
Oh god.
Shut up,
They're literally, that quote literally is marketing towards like an 18-year-old. That's exactly what that is.
That's why people believe me when I say I am 18 and not you.
Oh wow, because you drink Monster?
That was only half of it too.
Oh man.
Following your heart to who knows where and who knows who. Confident it will all work out. In homage to the endless summers of youth comes ultra red light. Crisp and refreshing with 0 sugar, sweet, sweet summertime.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was like 18 to 26, that was probably all I drank was Monster and like energy drinks, and although they were usually mixed with like vodka or whiskey, so
you know it says like do not mix with alcohol in here.
Yeah,
right?
but you tell somebody to not do something, do not touch. What the hell do you think I'm gonna do with it, man?
I mean, I do drink Monster and Hypnotic.
Oh yeah, they can see. Oh, Hypnotic's good. That's a good one. All right, we finally gotten back in. They actually disconnected first, so.
That means we are going to get a mirror match to round things out. Yeah. Although it's a little bit, I would say that this is actually going to be pretty favored for Daiguren, actually, because he didn't scuff his lineup. He is getting Zoe Diana.
Yeah, so let's see which deck is going to be able to take it here.
And he gets the Zoe turn 1. Yep. You can't do that, Trivo, because you're playing Leona, because you just had to play 2 Mountain Scryer decks.
Yeah, I've never liked... did I did it. Wait, how did I definitely picked DaigurenRise. What are you talking about? I grabbed the wrong person.
Oh, you just gravitated to Trivo organically? That's fine. I can swap over to Daiguren.
No, I'm already changing.
Okay.
We're good. It's just Trivo. I just magnetized the Trivo. That's the problem. All right, here we go.
You like this boy too much, SJW.
So, I like him, but, like, I hate this deck. I hate... Leona Diana is just, like, I've never, ever, ever liked it. And, to see now that we have Zoe in the mix, I got to agree with you. Like the fact that Trivo is not playing Zoe, I feel like it's a huge disadvantage, especially because what do you know? We got Zoe on turn 1. Now there is a hush on the side of Trivo to deal with it in future turns, but still, I mean, you fall that much further behind with something like super cool star chart. Yeah, and we're gonna get the block with the goat. Actually, a little bit surprised on that one. Kind of seems like a bad trade, but I guess you're happy you got the super cool star chart, so you'll take it. Atrocity off the top, not going to be useful now. We could, yeah, I was just going to say we could gem and then Diana. It seems like a pretty strong play. That also, I was going to say it plays around the Hush, but now, yeah, we can just Solari Soldier, and now we still have a Hush block onto the Zoe, so feels really bad for Daiguren to still be falling into this one. And I think, all right, I was going to say, is he thinking about holding the Zoe back because of it?
I actually like holding the Zoe back because you still have the star chart in hand. And it's so difficult for Trivo to actually remove this Zoe unless you put it in combat.
I mean, yeah, I got to agree. I mean, you got to think to yourself, there's a Hush, right? I mean, is Trivo playing 3 Hush? Probably. I mean, basically everybody is at this point. So, well, clearly Daiguren very back and forth about it, but we do decide to hold it back. And what that shows me, too, is we might try to go for a Zoe level up. So we'll see if that's the case. We also don't have a lot more units on field either. So I do like kind of saving that Zoe there overall.
All right, Mountain Scryer out of Trivo and some okay options. Not phenomenal, but we do get a Golden Sister that we can actually run out next turn if Daiguren does go for development. Just sort of generate an additional blocker, but I don't know. Maybe that plays against him. Maybe you think that you actually can still get Daiguren into getting baited into attacking with this Zoe, you know, once they actually do play the star chart and then get the Hush off. If you develop an elusive, Daiguren's not going to fall for that anymore.
And here's Solari. Let's see what we got. Meteor Shower, Warrior, Golden Sister. So are we just going to both trade Golden Sisters back and forth? I wouldn't be surprised, but Meteor Shower seems like an okay pick as well, and that's what we go with. That will get rid of the Scryer, and maybe that's what Daiguren's thinking. Like, all right, Trivo, you're always on these Scryer decks. I'm getting rid of this part of your strategy. I'm not letting you keep this guy around for much longer.
Yeah, I mean, it is a realistic possibility. Not to mention, if you had gone for the Golden Sister, because you got yours off a Solari Priestess and Trivo's got his off a Scryer, you're not actually going to be able to match it back and forth. Trivo's going to get to develop those just a turn early.
Yeah, and I imagine there's going to be no block on the Scryer as well. We'll keep this Diana around. Does Diana ever level up in this deck? I mean,
it's not out of the question, but it generally takes some doing.
I mean, we have the 2. Well, I asked because we do already have 2 Pale Cascade in hand. I think.
Yeah, that's step 1.
Basically, I think we just need to get the other Pale Cascade in hand. So.
Well, we also have Eclipse Dragon.
Okay, yeah, Eclipse Dragon would do it as well. But here's the Meteor Shower, so gonna feel good to get rid of that Scryer, like I just mentioned, and this could lead to an attack with the Zoe, but we get the Solari Priestess, which is still going to be able to shut that down and keep open that Hush mana. So we'll see if Daiguren continues to hold back the Zoe here.
Yeah, I guess the question is, are you worried about Hush Pale Cascade?
Ooh, yeah.
Actually, it wouldn't even take a Pale Cascade because Daiguren doesn't have Pale Cascade mana of his own.
Yeah, we only got
I mean,
one.
you've played around Hush this long, you might as well just continue to do it. Especially because that star chart is just still in your hand.
Yeah, and Trivo developing the Solari Soldier as well, just getting the additional unit down. I don't know what he's thinking with that. I think, after getting his field kind of dealt with and risking a Zoe attack there, I think Trivo is just wanting to get as many units down as possible right now. And, I mean, speaking of that, this would be a great turn if we do get the Golden Sister down. Is a big mana commitment, so could look at something like another Solari Priestess, continue to develop our Celestial options. Never a bad thing to get more Celestials in hand.
And I think we're running into the Aurelian Soul Complex here, where I don't think leveling Zoe is really something that Daiguren is playing towards, but it is something that Trivo has to be consistently aware of. And while this Golden Sister does look really juicy, yeah, you feel like you need to go for this Meteor Shower, and not just that, but throwing the 4 at the Zoe, making sure to play around specifically even double Pale Cascade, because one Pale Cascade you could meet with a Hush. So the Diana not going to die here, and this does upset the tempo for Trivo. You don't even have the possibility of daybreaking your Solari Priestess now. The rest of your turn is looking really mediocre, while Daiguren gets to get down a Mountain Scryer and gets some pretty okay options. Nothing phenomenal, I would say.
Yeah, the Scourge is not going to come into play until much later in the game, so I don't really think you can take that now. Meteor Shower with the current field of Trivo, not really going to get a whole lot done unless you want to just try to prep for the future. It's a pretty good bet your opponent grabbed a Golden Sister. It's a very common grab, so maybe the Meteor Shower would help in that instance.
I think when your opponent's not playing Zoe, I could see dissuading yourself from the Meteor Shower a little bit more. I don't mind eyeing the Scourge. Because you still have this super cool star chart, you know, there is a possibility that you can get that Moon Silver, get the Scourge down as early as turn 8.
Well, it is going to be the Meteor Shower. So we'll see what we end up doing with it here in the next couple of turns. I have a feeling it's got the Silver Sister's name written all over it at some point. Not too worried about the lifesteal of the Golden Sister typically in this matchup. Not a whole lot to do. Yep, just going to pass it back over. And so, again, so this is why I hate this deck, man. I feel like it's just such a not proactive deck, such a reactive deck. Like,
I love this deck, man.
We have the day and night deck.
Yeah.
You like this deck?
I love Zoe Diana. That is literally all I've played on ladder for the entire season.
I mean, Leona Diana.
Nobody likes... Trivo doesn't even want to be running Leona Diana. Although, I will say, I am a little surprised that he went for the Zoe Asol Plaza deck instead of going something like Leona Asol in Plaza and then running the more traditional Zoe Diana in the Atrocity version.
Yeah, and as much as I think Garen might be better than Leona, I do agree with you. I think the Leona Asol would have been the better complement there as far as decks are concerned. But like you said, Trivo just probably eyeing those Mountain Scryers, just wanted to play those Celestials. So we get the Solari Priestess to grab a... Wait, am I looking at that right? Oh, there it is. Okay, it just took a second to load up the screen. I was like, he didn't grab a Ravoon with that, right?
Oh, yes, he did.
All right, we're just getting invoke after invoke after invoke from both people. Now with the Equinox. And we're just literally just trading. We're trading cards that invoke Celestials with the Celestials, just back and forth. All these little rinky-dink followers and units on the field. This will take care of the Scryer too, which is really important. I think if somebody does get a Scryer to stick in this matchup, I think that's a really big deal. So removing that, I think, is a priority for Trivo. So I do like this Meteor Shower 100%. We could save the Diana, which is probably what Daiguren is thinking. I don't know if you ever really want to, is the problem. She kind of just, is useful for the turn that she comes down, and then she just kind of hangs out. So I don't think, like we talked about earlier, I don't think you really go for the level up. You're never really going to reactivate that level 2 ability. Are we going to go for the double Pale onto the...
It looks like we are.
Well, we just drew... Wow. Wait, is this going to... Did we just... We could level... Oh, never mind. We don't have the mana. I was going to say, if we just top the third Pale and we level the Diana to save both, that's insane.
No, but is that Pale in hand a Diana?
The first
Did you even think to check?
No, I think maybe one of the other ones drawn was, but...
I mean, you can hover it.
It's not. But
okay.
The other two, he played those pretty quick, so either he didn't see that they were a Diana, or they...
No, they were real Pales. You can check in the sidebar.
Okay, yeah, so they were real Pale Cascades, so he just drew all 3 organic Pale Cascades. Alright, a little bit of damage traded there. I think, I mean, Daiguren, you can just tell from the hand, too. Very, just in control. I wouldn't say very in control. I mean, we're a couple cards up on Trivo right now. Trivo does have the Scryer getting drawn again, though, so that Scryer sticking again might be the difference in this matchup.
I am bewildered at the fact that DaigurenRise had the attack token on 1, played a Zoe, hit Trivo with it, and has held onto that super cool star chart the entire time. Especially with how many other things we've invoked. Yeah. But I guess, I mean, right now it's really... Actually, I want to mention something here. That's actually a really good point, Boulevard, that now that you bring that up for anybody who might be newer to the game.
There's a really specific reason why that has stayed in hand for the entire game. And that's because this game in particular has been kind of a tempo war back and forth on board. 2 mana doesn't seem like a lot, but spending even 2 mana means that you're spending 2 more unit mana than you want to be spending on a possible unit to hit the board. And that's tempo that you're losing versus your opponent if you're spending it on something like super cool star chart. So as much as the Celestials might be good that come out of it, you're losing tempo in that mana that might not necessarily be worth it. And I think that's why we're seeing Daiguren sit on this super cool star chart for so long.
Yeah, if you want to play super cool star chart and get down the unit that you get in the same turn, you have to think about all that mana combined. For example, if you get a Charger, Charger's 3 mana. You look at Charger compared to Iron Ballista, it's not the same. Yeah. It's totally different.
Yeah. So probably going to be sitting on that for a little while.
I would imagine it's not going to come down until we potentially even use it as like a Nightfall activator.
Yeah.
But Daiguren gets off the first star shaping and has, I mean, Cosmic Rays will do some work, but I think Living Legends does feel more like a game-winning line since you've been sitting on this atrocity specifically for so long.
Yeah, that's another card that's been in hand since basically the beginning of the game. And, I mean, it's not really going to do much now, but like you said, if you are able to get one of those larger Celestial units, the Elusives on board, contribute one of them. Okay. All right. Kill the Scryer.
So, no Living Legends next turn, and I'm a little surprised that we went for the Scryer kill since it's silenced.
Yeah. I was
just wanting to clean up a little bit of the board, but I don't know if it was necessarily worth the cost of turning off your Living Legends.
Yeah, that's a really weird block, I'm not going to lie. Maybe, I mean, technically the Scryer represents more damage, though, than something like the Solari Priestess, so
yeah,
maybe it's just solely for it's just a more efficient trade.
All right, is the fate of this super cool star chart to be discarded to Spacey Sketcher?
It could also be a Nightfall activator for the Eclipse Dragon.
Yeah, I'm curious if you are going to super cool star chart in that regard, or if you want to discard that to the Sketcher to Nightfall activate, just to not only free up a little bit of hand space, but just be slightly more efficient with your mana, because you do have spells that you want to be throwing out for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, what's like the right decision there, right? Because I mean, you play the super cool star chart, you're going to get more overall cards, I guess. Actually, you could argue the other way too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I kind of like daybreaking the Eclipse Dragon, just so that when you do go for Living Legends on the following turn, because you're not, no matter how you play this, you're not getting down a Celestial this turn. You know, just setting yourself up to be a little bit more efficient with that Living Legends, because you can even get down Mountain Scryer next turn. All of a sudden, not only does that Living Legends cost 9, but the first Celestial you play is going to be reduced by 3. You could run out 2 high impact units on your next attack turn.
All right, Eclipse Dragon gonna take the chump blocks up, basically a free trade there. Fury up. So man, just the amount of invoking in this game: Serpent, Cosmic Rays, and Warrior to choose from.
If this hasn't told you, SJW, that we need some kind of like little graphic for like when my player invokes for you to like pull it up and show everybody. This match.
Well, I can do that. I just man, hold on, because I just set up the LBR stuff. But do it on the fly here.
I know you had it set up a while ago, but I figured with all the new stuff, it might be a bit of a pain.
Hold on. Yeah, I should be able to get it for the next one.
All right, little bit of a lull in the action here. SJW doing his magic in the background. Daiguren and Trivo working their magic in the foreground, and I am just here off to the side taking it all in with all of you.
All right, cool. There we go.
All right, Ravoon gets a Zenith Blade. Not ideal. Probably actually one of the worst options that you could go for, especially since you don't have a larger unit like an Eclipse Dragon. It will come up later if we can get like a back and forth. Actually, no, it will never come up, because if you get into, say, a Great Beyond War, this Great Beyond's going to have like 15 attack. The +2 health does not help you survive.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think that Trivo can one-shot Daiguren with an atrocity?
Do I think Trivo can one-shot Daiguren with Atrocity?
How close do you think Trivo is to a 20 attack Great Beyond?
That's actually a good question. I mean, we've been trading Celestials back and forth for basically all game. I would not be surprised if it's at 20. I mean, it starts at what, 9? So 8. So we need 12.
Yeah.
Oh well, that answers a little bit of it. So
Daiguren's so much further behind on the Celestial.
Yeah.
I mean, Trivo's got 3 Traveler on field, so you know he's really far ahead of the Celestial game.
Yeah, so I think Trivo is very, very far ahead. And we have 2 Atrocities even. So I'm going to go ahead and give the slight advantage to Trivo. But on the other hand, Daiguren does have Destroyer on the field. And that is going to start to represent some immediate damage with that Overwhelm.
Yeah, and Trivo doesn't actually have any Invoke left in hand. Okay. So did we grab... Was that Moonsilver?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, figures. I set up the screen grab so we can grab the Invoke, and now there's none left.
There's still a... he'll find one.
Boulevard's like, there's probably none left, but don't tell him that.
I'm sure there's more in there. He's not running Zoe, he's not running Acel. None of your champions invoke.
Yeah, so this is going to push through. And on top of that, this is pushing through 6 damage for Trivo. So he doesn't even need a 20-0 right now. I mean, we have a pretty good shot of just getting one large Celestial and being able to deal with Atrocity. Now, here's what I like though, and I think it's all coming together now with Trivo's game plan. You see 3 Travelers on the field. I think he very specifically has gone for Travelers because he wants that continued card advantage. When you get Traveler as a Celestial, it's just going to get you another Celestial. So you're actually getting 2 cards technically throughout the length of the game. And if the game's going to go longer like it has and like we know this matchup is going to do, it makes more sense to just have more resources like that on the field to just suck up attacks, suck up blockers, make trades. So I really like that from Trivo to just kind of stall out this game. Now, whether or not it's going to be the right decision here, we'll see in just a bit. But right now, it seems like it might be if we are able to just find that one good elusive unit.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to hang around long enough for, to survive Daiguren, who does have his own atrocity still, has the Living Legends, and going to see a Moonsilver to start things off. Is that going on the Diana?
No, that went on the atrocity.
It went on the atrocity.
That's a big deal.
It's a scary prospect.
Yeah. I actually really like that because your opponent's always going to... We always talk about that. You don't play around the reduced cost cards. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's not the best Living Legends I've ever seen. Not the worst, though. I will say that for Daiguren.
Trivo did pick up a Star Shaping off the top as well, so if we do take some damage and something like an Atrocity comes down, I think Star Shaping keeps us in pretty good shape. You caught it at the same time I did.
And I hated it.
Yeah, honestly, as far as puns go, I don't even really like that one. But it was still a pun. Yeah, this Star Shaping I think will do a decent amount of work for Trivo. I'm curious to see what the damage actually comes out to here. I mean, he's probably just going to throw whatever the biggest blocker is underneath it, right? So something like the Ravoon. The Ravoon will also trade with it. And that's going to end up pushing through 6 damage, puts him at 11. That's actually not enough for Atrocity, and everything else... Actually, the elusive Silver Sister will get through as well. So total, it looks like we're looking at possibly 10 damage going through. And I think that's why, we're just attacking with both of those. We could Pale Cascade, prevent some more damage. I don't think that's a route that we want to go. Alright, might as well. This will pick off another unit. I don't hate this. And it's actually leveled. We were just talking about this earlier. We actually have a level Diana thanks to drawing every single friggin' Pale Cascade in the deck. And I would love to see an actual activation of her level 2 ability, like after she's leveled up.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see. Okay, so I like pulling Ravoon. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go, because it is the only thing that is currently threatening the life of the destroyer.
Yep. Yeah, and that 5 attack, quick attack challenger, that's rough. I mean, that generally is going to deal with absolutely anything you could think of, and yeah, this is going to push through a lot of damage. Looks like...
Yeah, probably going to have to Pale Cat. I think you have to Pale Cascade the Traveler, understanding that, you know, atrocity exists. You're sitting there staring at 2 of your own. You're not new to this.
Yep.
Okay, I was wondering if we could see a Hush onto the Diana, but is just willing to let the Ravoon die.
And now we are in atrocity range. Daiguren has Trivo in atrocity range, but Trivo has a star shaping, and star shaping will help him get out of that. Here we go. See if I...
All right,
here we go, guys.
I'm so excited to see what Trivo's Celestials are going to be at, unless he's debating this Supernova, but I would imagine going to try and go for lethal here. It's tough, though. I mean, you have the Immortal Fire, you do have Hush, but if your Immortal Fire gets hushed, you know, just constantly thinking about what your opponent could have. Ooh, you got it. Got it all lined up.
Yeah, buddy.
Look at you.
I try.
Best producer in the game right now.
I try, man. I try. It ain't that hard. People make it look like it's hard. It's not that hard. Come on.
All right, never mind. A mediocre producer who does things that aren't that hard. Way to tear yourself down, SJW.
So, I do still like Trivo's position because of the that star shaping. It's gonna put him outside of the range of an atrocity, so we're good on that front. We're going into the attack turn of Trivo, which means we'll be able to play something like that Scourge that we just picked up.
And I would imagine this is probably going to be the Scourge challenging onto the Silver Sister.
Did mine? I'm pretty sure mine. Oh no, here we go. Wow, yours is super far ahead. I don't know why it kind of lagged there a little bit.
That's weird.
It actually lagged and then caught itself up, so that's even weirder.
Oh.
I
guess sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah. So, oh my God, we got the super cool star chart.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that was there.
I honestly
didn't know. It's been lying in wait for the perfect opportunity, and now it comes out, and it's almost like we forgot that it was only going to invoke things that cost 3 or less. And the Crescent Strike is going to get a lot of work done here, saving this Silver Sister. Although, you know, perhaps thinking, no, yep, there's no thought. Head empty, no thought. Crescent Strike here, Skies Descend the following turn. GG Trivo.
Man, this feels so bad for Trivo to have a 17 attack Scourge too.
Yeah, and I mean, the Skies Descend is indiscriminate. I don't know why it says 15 damage instead of kill all units. I mean, it's mostly for barrier purposes, but yeah. The fact that it is still going to get to kill this Scourge, and we are not only are we one shy of killing with Atrocity, but we have the pump that we need in hand in this copy of Zenith Blade. And we're not going to have time to get it down. Yep. I imagine that Daiguren is going to open with this spell.
Do we have some more? Nope, that's just a Ravoon. We don't have enough time to get some more heal down or anything like that.
And Trivo actually will survive. The Atrocity to kill the Eclipse Dragon will keep him in this one for the time being.
And oh man, that's just so bad. It's at 17. Oh man.
Actually doesn't even necessarily have to go for that, because he can't just play a Solari Sunforger after the board wipe occurs. And I think something like that is on Daiguren's mind.
Wait, so do we ever atrocity this? Do we atrocity the Scourge to face? And then that sets us up next, or no, because then we don't live. Never mind. I was gonna say, is there another way that we survive by atrocity and the Scourge to face, and we still survive somehow? Because then we have the other atrocity plus any unit next turn. But
I think that the Moonsilver on the Atrocity is gonna be the difference maker here. There's no way that Trivo really expects that. I mean, you know that something was reduced by the Moonsilver. It might be at the forefront of Trivo's mind that, you know, there is the potential that it is Atrocity, but what could you even do about that? I think, you know, are you thinking, oh, maybe I should Zenith Blade my Scourge so that I have lethal as well? And it looks like he is going to go for that line.
Yep. And, yeah, we're going to get the Atrocity at 5 mana. Trivo probably thinks he's sitting pretty, not having to worry about the 6 mana Atrocity, but Man, you just don't play around those reduced cost cards. And not that Trivo really could have played around it, I don't think, but man, that feels so bad.
And I did want to mention, oh, never mind, he doesn't do it either. And both these guys.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because Trivo's playing Diana Leona and he has to fit in more cards like Ravoon, did not actually find an opportunity to fight in the Moonlight, but going out on his own terms, Trivo going to fall down to -22 here as the Battle of the Celestials finally comes to an end. Daiguren using the flavorful Targon board, and that is why he is the winner. Trivo sitting in the fields of Runeterra, wishing of better times where his Nexus was not at 0 HP.
Jesus. All right, and Daiguren gonna take it from Trivo. Honestly, Mafia looking really, really good after 1 week in the LBR here. Trivo, obviously, you know, a great player. So for them to be able to take down Trivo there at the end of day 2 of week 1, pretty big deal. Mafia off to a great start for their first take in the LBR. Sultans not doing too hot to get started here, so we'll see if they can kind of come back around in week 2, move their way up the leaderboard there for the LBR. But as always, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.